What's up, y'all? This is Billie Dean Thomas, and you're listening to When We See Each Other.
Hello, world. My name is Nikkiesha McLeod, and you're listening to When We See Each Other, presented by Stereoactive Media. When We See Each Other is a podcast that focuses on music and art by BIPOC, queer, trans, and non-binary artists, as well as artists I've met and known for some time. This episode, we're interviewing Grammy-nominated rapper and producer Billie Dean Thomas. First, we'll play the brilliant track Praise Latifah off of their album Mix, which dropped in October of 2025. Then, we'll jump right into the interview. Here we go.
Closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? Got a demo tape and nobody want to hear it, but it's like, got something to say, that's all I got to say.
The gays got something to say. The gays got something to say. Got something to say, LGBTQIA, plus we minus all that hate, flow so cold, decapitate, I hate thinking about those days, I used to fuck the pain away, peaches, dreaming the beaches, bitches on leashes, rewind the sequence, underground sound like chamber of secrets, no Pound Town is playing from my speaker, one day I'll be screaming from the bleachers, Billie Dean Thomas, overachiever, students are seekers, black like beepers, rap like preachers, praise Latifah, praise Latifah. 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 Praise Latifah, praise Latifah.
And it'll be because they received the sound that disrupted the atmosphere.
Getting clothes with pretty boy features, hitting the spot like I'm trying to reach her. So I'm beneath her, Baptist, Ebenezer, Catholic, Puerto Rican, that's it, order me guns. White people the reason most my family gone, I need no religion. Music made me listen, music made me listen. Maybe I have two sons, play I'll turn you two songs. Hate me cause I'm too on, Tinashe wax on, Miyagi wax off. And y'all then your sons, I'm rapping till I got all my pain gone. Praise Latifah, praise Latifah. 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 Praise Latifah, praise Latifah.
Welcome back to When We See Each Other, Billie Dean.
Hey, hey.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's you.
It
is you. And I can actually see you now, and you can see me.
Yes, it's perfect. It's so good to see you. I'm so pumped.
Oh my God. I'm so pumped as well. It's so great to have you back on the show again. How have you been?
I've been good. I think a lot is going on, both, with music stuff and the world, and there's just a lot happening right now. So feeling energized, but also a little exhausted at the same time.
Right, exactly. Okay, first of all, I know this might seem really old news, but I wanted to know, because I was thinking about you when this was happening. I wanted to know, as a Puerto Rican, what did you think about Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl?
That's so funny. I was really excited to see that Bad Bunny was going to be there. I think the most beautiful part to me was just, as everyone is saying, the representation to start out the sort of story, being in the sugarcane fields. I think that was bold. I think he's very bold. I also have been noticing a similarity between him and also Kendrick's previous performance, where there seems to be like
Right.
a lack of almost like intentionally pulling back their energy as if to make a statement to say, I'm not going to be performing for the white gaze and for the people that are
Ah.
looking at me, because they both kind of let everyone around them do more of the performing. It wasn't so much about either of them, which I thought was dope.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you brought up a solid point right there. Like, I didn't even think about that, the fact that they were just letting everyone else basically be the star of the show of the moment. And I think that was really profound in the sense of Bad Bunny particularly, where, as you mentioned, he was showing the sugar fields, and also all of the different people that make up Puerto Rico, right?
Right.
I want your, like, take on this as well. But for some folks, they felt like, they appreciated everything that he did, but they felt like he could have left out, the whole "God bless America," as America is the colonizer of Puerto Rico and also Hawaii. Um, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's deep. I think it just makes me sort of think about how America means different things to everybody. And I think for him, when he says God bless America, it's not the same meaning as when other folks, particularly those in power who may be white and have more access to privilege, when they say it, right? So I think for him, I think it's subversive in that he doesn't actually stand with the people that we're assuming he's standing with by making the statement. But at the same time, I will say that he knows that there's kind of a doubleness going on there, and that's also probably a part of the reason that he's saying it, because he knows it's gonna be recognized by everyone, but it's almost like a double consciousness, like, but I think he's aware of that double consciousness, and so that's what makes it cool.
Yes, exactly, right, and he knows how to play on it as
Yeah,
well, right?
and that is his privilege, though, too, I will say. That's his privilege.
Yes, exactly, and another thing that, felt like he brought us was, especially when the Super Bowl was happening, a lot of shit was going on, and he just brought so much hope in the face of all of this despair that we're experiencing, you know what I mean? And, it's just like, especially now in terms of like what's happening in Kansas, where trans people, their identification is being revoked and invalidated. And this is just like another layer of like oppression added to everything that's going on. If you want to jump in on this, let me know, just go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, wow. So for me, I think I feel so many things about this because we're living this reality, right? Of walking around in this body, in this trans masculine or centered non-binary body every day, and never knowing when you're going to be, I guess, ostracized because of it, never knowing if someone's gonna maybe try to track you down because you have an X on your license. Like it I also experience that day to day, and I think it's really, to be a person in this body is definitely a form of protest in a lot of ways, whether we choose it or not. And so I feel so deeply for the youth, especially that are going through this, because they're consistently being denied to be to have agency in their own reality. And I think that it's horrible, but all we can do, and all I'm stepping into my next phase as like a queer elder, and all I can do is continue to stand proudly in my identity and show them that I'm happy to be who I am, and I'm going to continue to be me despite what the systems are saying, despite what the government is saying, despite what my colleagues might say about me when I walk in the room. Like, just maintaining your stance and standing on business of your identity is so key right now.
Yes, yes, definitely. What you just said really reminds me of something that I personally have been thinking about. in terms of like we hear a lot about decolonializing the land. And I feel like personally, like in order to do that, you have to decolonialize your body. Um, Through that process, then you can basically do that with the
Yep,
land because we are connected to the earth, right?
exactly.
And that's where our bodies are going to end up in the end.
Yep.
And the fact that, we as trans people are defining who we are, saying, well, this is who I am, is an act of doing that, right?
100%. And I also feel like it starts at home and even further, it starts in your own body, right? Like that, I know a lot of people say, like, if you have a certain belief, a lot of folks are performative, but it starts at your house, at your dinner table. And with us, it's like it starts in our bodies, like our identities lay in the body as space, as land. And so, really for all of us, but especially for trans masculine or just trans folks and queer folks, period, I think it starts there. And so, yeah, that's number one for me is like I can't tell somebody else how to be or how to show up unless I'm doing that work first in my own skin.
Right, exactly. So, how have you been practicing and will continue to practice hope
Mm,
and experience joy?
yeah. Wow, that's big. I was just talking about this like 30 minutes ago with my wife. I feel like every day that I wake up, I feel like it's a new opportunity for me to reclaim my joy. And I try not to wake up with dread as the first thing on my mind because that is robbing myself of the possibilities of what I can do, who I can be, and what my next steps are. And so I just see every day as an opportunity to really be my best self and to enjoy my life because ultimately joy is a form of resistance. So many people want me to be sad about who I am and want me to, change my skin, want me to put on dresses, want me to marry, be in a straight relationship and it's not happening. So like I think it's not it's
Nope.
not it's
Nope.
not happening ever, not today,
Yeah.
not tomorrow, not next year. So for me, it's just looking at each day as an opportunity to like continue to practice authenticity and be myself.
So, you were on When We See Each Other during the pandemic.
Wow,
Yeah, I know
it's been a minute.
that's been seriously a minute. And it was also just before you released the album For Better or Worse,
Mm.
which, by the way, still totally rocks and
Thank
resonates,
you.
especially currently with the flavor that we are having right now. It works.
Yep.
Um, so after that, it seems like you took a break because your next release was Valentine in 2024. Um, so what was going on during those 4 years? Like, were you preparing for your most recent album, Mix?
Yeah, definitely. I was recording throughout that period. I was also trying to redefine my relationship with music, with performing, and with just my process. I've gone through so much. I guess I'll be honest and say like trauma through being in the music industry and like being a part of
Mm.
this space because again it's not the most receptive to people who look like us. And so
Right.
I've had to really redefine why I'm making the music I'm making and am I enjoying it? So throughout that pause,
Mm.
I started to like enjoy what I was doing and I told myself I'm not going to continue to make music that I think is good and more so I'm going to make music that I want to listen to, which is it seems like such a simple statement, but a friend of mine said that when we were talking actually about Little Nas X years ago. I think it was right after the pandemic and we were in the car listening to his album and I'm like this is so dope. Like I loved everything about it, the energy. Like Little Nas X is just a force on his own and so positive and funny.
Mhm.
And my friend was like, it's so clear that he's making the music and partnering with producers that he wants to listen to. And I was like, yo, that's deep. Like, I've never actually felt like what I'm making, I want to play. Like, I've never had that, like, I don't know, relationship with my music until now. So with Mix, I was like, I want this project to be something that I'm going to bump in my own house, or I'm going to play songs, and keeping a personal relationship with the music versus it just being like an external release for others, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does make sense, especially in terms of, like, uh, giving yourself, like, your roses, giving yourself your flowers, and celebrating yourself, as a musician, and I feel like you've done that with this album, honestly, like, first of all, it's on heavy rotation, like, every day now. So, I'm just letting you know. Like, it is, like, I listen to it all the time, and yes, yes, it's necessary, it's so necessary, and I feel like it's a celebration, like you mentioned, it is a celebration of not only yourself, not only you, so it's also as a you as a queer, non-binary trans artist, but also the celebration of the queer community. Um which I think is so necessary, especially now. Oh my god. Um, so is that what you it seems like that is what you wanted to achieve, and you've done so. So did you sit down and say, "You know what? I'm gonna write an album that is just gonna be celebrating myself and my friends, my queer friends, and my community." Was that the intention or
Yeah, that's a great question. I think by virtue of celebrating myself and the way that I live my life is very much about the communities and the groups that I'm a part of. I think it kind of organically just became that because I don't do anything in life just for myself ever, which is something that can sometimes be a challenge that I'm not thinking of myself enough. But I think in this respect, totally. I think I wanted to showcase expansiveness. What does expansiveness of me look like? What does expansiveness of me as a songwriter look like? What does it look like in terms of like the way that I experience love or the way that I talk about my relationships with partners? That's what like XO on the project is about, just like toxic relationships and domestic violence and queer relationship, like showing the span of our like journeys as queer people. Like there's so much nuance and there's so much
Mhm.
to explore that nobody ever asks about. Like it's just like you're queer and that's it. It's like, do you even know what that means? Like, you know. So yes, I think it was a part of it.
Yeah, no, I totally hear that so vividly in this album mix. You brought up a really solid word right there, expansion. The expansion of self, the expansion of how I see myself in the future, how I see myself right now as I'm existing. Um, and I feel like the album imagines too, as well, what life without oppression would look like.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, I mean that in the sense of, like, the fact that we never really have time to daydream in that sense of breathing in that realm because we're in a constant state of, like, fight or flight and also hiding, you know what I mean? Um, so there's hardly anything out there it doesn't seem like there's much out there that depicts, like, what life would be like after we have been liberated, you know?
Wow, that's beautiful.
It's kind of like, well, what then? You know, it's just like, well, what then when we're liberated? You know, what then? What's gonna happen then? At least that's why it took me to that space.
Mm.
And I felt like I was seeing what then. I saw like what can happen after. and and it's a part of dreaming, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, if you can like talk about that would be so awesome.
Wow, that's really resonating with me so much right now. I think especially in the soundscapes, like just thinking about some of the production and how a lot of it is in this almost like atmospheric kind of like space. Like to me, all of that feels like what it's like to be within the margins, but like creating your own reality and your own planet, essentially. And I think that this is what I was getting at with when I was making the music is like, I wanna build my own world with this, and for you to say that you've experienced, like, the form of liberation, I think that kind of is liberation to me, is being the architect of your own future and your own planet. That is ultimate liberation, there's no one else's rules.
Yeah.
It's just you and your community, right? Like, the people that you love and that you're a part of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel that 1000% that I felt absolutely free. I felt surrounded by my community because almost half of my project is produced by non-binary musicians. I felt like every single video that I came out with was all made by the same non-binary videographer. So like the stories were truly what it looks like when we are completely liberated from all of these like external opinions and we get to make our worlds. Like we did that. Shout out to all the collaborators, Kira, Cronin, Ali, everybody. I mean, we really created our own non-binary future. Like that's what we did.
Yes, yes, you created your own world, and it's beautiful there.
Come hang out with us.
It's so vast.
Yes. I love it.
Oh my god. And so, yeah, and a huge example of that is Praise Latifah, that video, that song. Oh my
I
god,
love it.
it's just like, is this I feel like it is paying homage to Queen Latifah, but I want folks to know from you that it is paying homage from Queen Latifah, and I want you to explain, even though I and you know why you're paying homage to Queen Latifah, I want you to explain why you're doing that. Why is this important?
Wow. So Queen Latifah, this song has two main purposes, but starting with Queen Latifah, she was probably the first representation of what it looked like on television in Hollywood to be a masculine of center and proud individual in the movie Set It Off. For folks who haven't seen that, that is a classic. And it is actually another example of showing what happens after Black and brown, particularly like AFAB folks, get away and are liberated after immense struggle. Like Jada Pinkett, I don't want to tell you if you haven't seen the movie, so I'll leave that alone. But the point is, like, this particular movie, she represented me. I saw myself in this character feeling confident and being, handsome and having a partner and loving out loud
Yes, yes.
and so that was she's done so many things in addition to the fact that she was also a musician. So there's the intersection there of, the physical sort of representation, but then she's a musician, she's an artist, she's successful still to this day. She was always herself and being authentic. And the other part of the song is utilizing like that presence of Queen Latifah, but just thinking of it as music, like music being a form of God in its own way and
Mm,
spirituality. And so
mm.
even less about her and more about look what hip hop music can do to liberate us and have us closer to our own version of whatever God is. I don't care what you pray to or what your denomination is, but music is the most spiritual thing ever. You can't see it, you can't touch it. It sounds like God a little bit, right? Like
It's
it's
its own spirit.
yeah,
Yeah,
it really is.
it's true.
So yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at with with that whole double meaning of like Queen Latifah, but also beyond Queen Latifah, just music, period, as a spirit that propels me.
Yeah. And one of the things I enjoyed about the video was seeing the images of the ancestors actually resting their hands on you. That image, oh my God, that was just so powerful. It made me cry. Like,
Me too.
seriously,
Me too.
it was so perfect. I was just like, oh my God.
And those were my family members.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
My mother and my dad and my sister.
That makes so much sense. That is so beautiful, dude. Like, seriously?
Thank you.
Ah, man. And then also, I think there's a lot of, as you mentioned, spirituality. I think there's a lot of spiritual elements throughout the video itself, and then also even in the lyrical aspect of the song and the musicality of it as well. Um, One of the spirituality aspects of it is just like the conversation, as I mentioned, between your Black ancestors, and then also the conversation with, the queer community that you have. I felt like that was that was expressed so it wasn't like in your face. Not that it would have been like wrong to be in your face, but it was just like subtle but powerful at the same time. You know what I mean? Um, so yes, so I feel like there's a lot of intentionality in this song, like both lyrically, musically, and then also visually.
Mm,
If you can talk about that a little bit
yeah.
more into like why you wrote it, how long it took you to write it, and the whole process. Just give us all the tea.
Wow, yeah. Praise Latifah is probably the most important song I've ever written, and I produced that record as well. So the most important song I've produced and written by myself. And how did it come about? I woke up on a Sunday morning. Sometimes I have, the Sunday blues, and
Mhm.
I was really, really drawn to this sample of of the choir. Like that choir sample
Mm.
was just so moving to me, and actually it was just like I made the beat in probably like 2 hours, and it felt seamless, but also I felt like I was like like floating a bit, like as I was making the beat. And
Mm.
initially, um, what was the first line I said before I started writing it? I said, "What is" the original bar I said was, "What does outcast mean to me?" And because I've started to think about what it means to, not be accepted, but still feel like because I am a holy person, I'm worthy,
Mhm.
um, even though I feel like an outcast. And then
Mhm.
it made me think about Andre 3000, and so then that's how you get the line that where I'm like, "The gays got something to say." Okay.
That is, like, the most, like, profound thing ever.
Shout out to Andre 3000 for being in my brain that morning when I made the beat, and I thought about him because his statement at his time was so profound. Like, the South has something to say, and I'm like, no, who has something to say in 2025?
Yeah,
The gays. Like it's our time to kind of shine a light on the fact that we have so much to say and no one's listening.
right.
So
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it was a whole, I mean, I cried throughout the process, throughout the video. I think, like you said, there's so many layers with this song. It's deeper than music. It's not This is now beyond music with this song. This is about cultural lineage. The video was literally me archiving my family in a video. Like that is a music video with every relative in my immediate family to show like our spirituality. Like my mom, her family practice Santeria. Like there's just so many pieces. My father is West Indian. Like we grew up Catholic. There's just all of these components, but music was a centerpiece in my house for everything. It doesn't matter what we were doing. Music was the core. Yeah, I don't know. I could talk about it for months, but there's so much there that I'm speechless
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, you and I both. I'm just like, wow. When I saw that, I was just like, damn, damn. Like, and I'm still absorbing that. I'm still processing it.
Me
I
too.
am still processing
Me
it.
too.
And one of the things that it reminds me of, like, I walk around with this quote in my notes on my phone. And I would, periodically would look at it whenever I feel like I'm alienated from, you know, spaces and whatever. And as a reminder to myself, I would, say it to myself. And that's why I have it on my phone. It's basically, it says, every time you live your truth, you free an ancestor who was forced to hide theirs. Which then makes me think that when we become ancestors ourselves, we will be freeing the next generation.
Wow. Whew.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
Well, this is deep. This is like, it just blew my mind, honestly. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I can't even watch that video often
Without crying?
because yeah, that too. But I can't watch it a lot because it's so heavy and not necessarily in a bad way, but just it's doing so many things emotionally for me that I have to take it in doses. Like there's just a lot
Mhm.
happening. And then my collaborator Kira, who I worked on to shoot the video, and they did an incredible job with all of the cinematography. We knew from the beginning as we were like mapping it out, we were like, I think this is gonna be even bigger than we think it is. Like we're like the idea is dope, but once I started to like have a vision of who was gonna play the ancestors, it wasn't even um like conceptual, it was just real life. Like, my sister and my mother and my father, that's how they dress. This isn't, like, performant. Like, this is how, like, people's
Mm.
spirits are manifesting in real time. So it didn't even feel like I had to plan so much. It was just like, "Okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this,"
Right.
and it just all
Right.
came together organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So I wanted to bring up certain lyrics and verses that just really grabbed me and just like resonated deeply inside of me. I'm just gonna just humor me. I'm just gonna read some of them. Um, and yeah, and we can just discuss like what inspired it. So like from Queen Latifah, masculine clothes with some pretty boy features, hitting the spot like I am trying to reach her, soul while beneath her Baptist, Ebenezer, Catholic, Puerto Rican. Dad said, order me guns. White people the reason. Most my family gone. I need new religion. Music made me listen. Music made me listen.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just like, wow, dude. And then from On My Way, understand me when I write that you gotta live your life. Spend a little more of your mind on joy, not on the grind. If you lost, then go and find yourself to get a line. 'Cause the one thing we can't not get back is time.
Mm.
Yeah. And then give me my applause. This is slave rhyme, disobeyed time, and y'all people ain't my master. I reclaim time. Give me my applause, yeah? I've been making noise, yeah? Give me my applause. They be hoping I fall. Give me my applause, for I die. All of this ain't done overnight. I just want my flowers, every kind. Say I'm out my mind, probably right. Then mix speed. Oh my god. You're gonna worship me like Sunday? And then, shake up the tracks. You a king or queen? Bitch, I'm all of that.
I love it.
Oh my God. And then, of course, from Papa, who I do this for? Queer kids in the ghetto. Queer kids in the ghetto. And yes, so many gems. So many gems.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, like, but the thing about Give Me My Applause is that you're not necessarily waiting for it. You're not waiting for it, you know? It's just like, and I love that. I love that. You're just doing it. It's just like,
Mm.
you know what? I should, yes, yes, you should give me my applause, but I'm that's not gonna stop me.
Mm.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep going. Oh my God, just and you're just perfect, dude.
You're perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh my God.
I'm just trying.
So what came first, the bars or the musicality for these tracks, or did they all come at once? Like, what
Hmm.
was the process?
What's the process? I think each one was a little bit different. I think I'm trying to think about Give Me My Applause. I wrote that song years ago during the pandemic.
Oh, really?
I wrote that song a while ago, and I just been
Mm,
sitting on it for a while. I think it has like a similar energy of For Better or Worse, actually, because one of the producers I was working with at the time
mhm.
had sent that beat along with the other beats from that project. But yeah, that song is really important to me too, because I feel like you said, someone else said this to me. They said that you have the audacity, like that's what's so awesome about it, is that you're just showing up and saying this is mine with such audacity in a way that may make people angry, but it doesn't bother you in the song. It's like you're doing it anyway. And the process though, I think I was just like really into the almost like drunk sounding guitars. Like the guitar in that sample made me feel like I was in a dream in a movie sequence, like when you're floating around. Again, this very like floating in space. Like all of it just felt like I was floating in space when I was writing it, or feeling almost drunk to the point where I have no inhibitions about, and I can say what I really think about myself, you know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
so yeah, that one was very just like about a flow state. I felt like I was just in a flow state. With Praise Latifah, it was a lot more spiritual and intentional. Like I felt like every word was so important to me. It was almost like I was writing, like if someone said like this is the last song
Mm,
you're going to ever write,
yeah.
that's how important it felt writing that one.
Ah.
And then I feel for the others, Papa I wrote in an hour. I got sent a beat. This like incredible non-binary producer named Mark Walt from Atlanta sent me this beat, this pack. It was like 80 beats, and it was the first song on the pack, or the first beat on the pack, and I just was like caught it
Mm,
like
mm,
instantly. I was
mm,
just like,
mm,
oh
mm,
yes,
mm,
this is
mm,
it, yeah.
mm, mm.
um, and it took me, even that one that takes me back to New York. Like it's very being in New York. This is where I come from. Almost like painting a picture of my like lineage of where I lived and like how I've moved like a river. That's why I say from the Bronx River, because
Mm, yes.
the movement felt like water. And so I wanted to like
Right.
reference, like my parents are from the Bronx. I'm from Harlem, but I don't talk about it a lot, but half of that time I was raised in the Bronx too. So like, cuz there's this like rivalry with like Bronx and Harlem too, which is kind of funny. Um but the Bronx is really, that's like my parents are from the Bronx. Like that's where we were raised a lot, half the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely my ode to travel and nomadicness. And um when I write songs though, and I feel like we talked about this last time, or maybe we didn't. Maybe that was the first time I had done it during the pandemic, that I feel like I told you guys about my new process where I don't listen to beats beforehand anymore. I stopped doing that.
No, I don't think you mentioned that.
This may be new then since that conversation, but
Mhm.
During the pandemic, I watched a clip of Miguel, who's one of my favorite artists, the singer, and he talked about how in the studio he doesn't listen to the beats beforehand. He just goes in and he pushes record and he just plays the music that he's given. And um, he talked about how 9 times out of 10, the first thing that he, like, emotes is typically what the song becomes because that's your most natural instinct to your body and to how you are impacted, and so I was fascinated by that and I wanted to try it, and so for me, ever since the pandemic, I've stopped, like, marinating on beats and sitting and, like, being cerebral about it, like, writing lyrics. I don't do that anymore, so all of these songs were written like, the flow of them, the cadences of them all came from my first instinct spiritually, how I responded to them.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
it really became a spiritual practice of mine where I have my process. I sit in the studio, I light my Palo Santo, I push record, and then I just play the beats,
Yeah.
and I comp, and so sometimes that looks like to some people, it kinda looks like I'm speaking in tongues because I'm just making rhythms and sounds, and there's no words yet. And then other times, what happens is I start to, like, m basically, like it's not a freestyle, but I start speaking in all these syllables, and the syllables start to make their own words, and sometimes I go back and I push play, and I hear sentences that I don't even know that I'm saying until afterwards.
Wow. Wow.
So it's really creepy sometimes because I might even say words that I don't even know, like, consciously, and
Yeah.
then I'll go and I'll type in, "What is this word?" And it will be, like, perfectly describing what
Yeah.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kinda creepy.
Wow. That
Yeah.
just means you're a conduit for something much larger than you are.
I don't talk about it a lot because it's a little overwhelming at times, but I definitely feel that way, especially I don't really record at night.
Mhm.
I've never talked about this ever before,
Okay.
but I don't usually record at night because I feel like I'm picking up on so many, whether it's spirits or vibrations, that
Mhm.
it overwhelms me.
Yeah.
And so I have to, like, take breaks.
Yeah.
So but I've kind of verified that with myself that I know that I'm picking up whoever is around, whatever is spiritually around. It might even be what we're going through as a country. Whatever that energy is, I know that I'm receiving it and people and things, and that is coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. And that's super dope.
Thank
It
you.
might be
It's
scary.
scary
I
sometimes.
I know. I mean, maybe dope is not the right word, but but that means you're just connected, you know? You know what I mean? You're just super connected, and even though that it can be really draining at times, that can be really beautiful as well. So yeah, I hear you on that. So how long did it take you to create the album? I know you said that you wrote "Give Me My Applause" back in the pandemic, during the pandemic. So how long would you say this album took to come into fruition?
I would say everything else outside of that song, mm, probably 2 years. I think a solid it took me 1 year to record it and mix it and master it, but it took me, I would say maybe a year and a half, almost 2, to, like, decide, "Okay, these are some leftover tracks from before that I think would work really well here," and yeah, so maybe altogether, like, about 2 years to really get it right, and this one I was so intention, like more than ever. Like I was fully in the studio tweaking every little thing, and I became a much stronger producer and engineer over these last 2 years. Like I've even started taking um mixing courses and things of that nature because I actually really love producing and mixing. Sometimes I feel I like producing more than rapping. Producing is like it's I could live in the studio just like producing music, arranging. That's my thing, and so I definitely learned how to be a better engineer through this process. I trusted my production skills because I've never produced this many songs on my own project ever before. My goal eventually is to get to a place where I can produce everything by myself, and then, that would be really fun. But yeah, no, I learned a lot about myself. And oh my God, we didn't even talk about this. So I went through an extreme amount of gender dysphoria with previous albums because I just never liked the way that my voice sounded.
Oh.
And with this album, I worked with someone who is also non-binary, who was like very understanding of that experience and wanted to help me find my voice again in a way that I loved. So we used all kinds of like mixing techniques and things to help me find the tone that I really love. That's why if you notice some songs my tone is different from other songs because
Mm-hmm.
I was able to like play and find comfort and a euphoria in how I sounded for the first time in my life, which was really cool. Um
Yeah.
so I loved that.
Wow.
And yeah, and also I'm funny like this, and maybe other people are like this too, but sometimes I need to experience all aspects of my, I guess, creative circle before I recognize that what I really love is the most authentic version of me. And so I had to try all these effects and do all these things to then realize that, wait, maybe I do like how I sounded without anything. Like maybe I do like
Yeah.
my own voice. And so I think it was psychological. Like I was having a lot of insecurities, probably based on, external forces telling me I'm not good enough, or you don't sound this enough, or you don't sound that enough.
Right. Right.
So I learned to like myself as a musician with this album.
Oh my God. That's amazing. That's the whole point. I mean, I feel like, and and I can hear, man, that's the thing. We can hear it. We can hear how much, at least for me, just knowing all of the other albums that you've created, I felt like this album itself, you sounded so free. You know what I mean? Like it goes back to what you were saying, that word expansive. You're doing different things and you were not holding back at all. So yeah, I totally hear that. Um, so so based on that, for you, how would you say Mix is different from your past work?
Ooh, I would say it's the least censored version of me expressing myself, whether that is sonically, whether that's storytelling. Like I was so raw. Like I wasn't thinking about, is somebody gonna get this, or what if they don't understand what mix is, or what if they don't understand what I'm talking about with Praise Latifah. Like what, I didn't care. It was completely just like a whiteboard or a canvas for me to just throw everything I wanted at it. Like this was my Jackson Pollock album where I just get to like splatter
Yes.
everything I want and feel good about it and have fun and play and cry and
Yeah.
and talk about tough. It
Yeah.
was just raw, my most raw version of myself, and also my most confident,
Mhm.
I would say, of myself. Like I'm finding the confidence too in my abilities and who I am. Like I don't think I was sure. Like I kind of knew who I was, like in For Better or Worse. I was like, I think I know myself. But now this one, I'm like, nah, I know myself. Like, I know I'm not bugging out here. Like, I know
Yeah.
this feels good to me.
Right.
And so the selfish, like, I feel
Yeah.
confident. I feel raw in this one. And yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed, I also enjoyed my process, and I never had before.
Okay. And what was this process?
The people I worked with, like,
Right.
everybody I worked with understanding my identity,
Right.
not feeling like I have to overperform, whether it's my masculinity or, I can relax in my voice because I don't have to prove that I'm a good rapper. Like, I wasn't proving
Yeah.
anything to anybody in this. This was just me. But so if people aren't interested in it, it's like, that's okay, and I understand that, but I wasn't trying anymore. Like, I was just giving myself.
Wow. Yes. Dude, like, really, that you can hear it. You can really hear it. Like, I definitely heard it, and it was magic. It is magic. It is magic. Like, wow. Alright, so I'm just gonna switch gears a little bit and ask you, like, so what are your plans moving forward? Are there any new projects, coming up? I know the last time, and you did bring this up earlier, the last time we sat down, you said you really wanted to start writing and producing for other artists, and you did mention that you wanna start doing that more. Is that something that you're actively looking forward to and making plans towards?
I haven't done any, like, much of it at the m well, no, that's not true. Actually, I have been, yeah. I've produced for, another local Boston artist. Her name is Akia. She's amazing. If you don't know her, check out her work. Incredible vocalist. But yeah, I produced something for her album that just came out, so that's been really fun. I also kind of help out a lot with, like, A&R track listing stuff for other artists occasionally, so that's been fun. But what's next for me, I am working on another project right now that I'm, like, almost halfway done with, which is really exciting. And I this project is going to be probably, I'm pumped to continue to go even more raw. Like, this was raw in,
Yes.
like, a digital
Yes.
sense, but this next project is gonna be raw in a live context. So,
Oh my god.
I'm so excited to just allow for people to understand what I sound like live.
Mhm.
And so that's a whole different me. Like, this
Yeah.
digital me is one thing, but, like, live me is something else. So I'm trying to capture the essence of who I become live in the next project.
So when are you coming to New York so we can see this live aspect of you?
I know,
Like, seriously, I'm gonna be there front row and center, okay? Like, seriously.
I know. I need to
Oh my
plan,
god.
you know what? Technically, I still haven't done any, like, shows related to Mix. Like, there has been no performance yet. So, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do, like, some sort of a, like, Mix tour sequence,
Mhm. Mhm.
and move that around, different major city. Definitely New York will probably be, like, the first place. So
Yes.
you'll be the first one to know about it because every one of my, like, family supporters in New York are like, "When are you coming here? Like, why didn't you have a release party here?" And I'm like, that's probably a good idea." Um,
Yes,
I
yes.
know.
I agree with your family. I think that you should. Hello?
I know. I will, yeah. I have to I'm in the moment. I am actually Saturday I'll be done. So I'm back together with the band. We're arranging the material from Mix at the moment too. So to be performed live. So we're working on the live iteration of the album. I'm also working on the live EP of my next phase. A lot of live stuff is about to pop off. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh my god. So definitely let me know,
I
reach out to
will.
us, please. Yeah, we will fully support that.
Please come. I got you on tickets. If it is in a place you don't have to pay, just pull up.
All right. Yes, I am pulling up. I'm definitely there. All right. So, you mentioned I forgot the person's name that you mentioned, the artist, the vocalist that you mentioned,
Zakia.
Zakia. Are there any other queer, trans, non-binary artists you'd like to shout out?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my all the collaborators on this project, Ali Cho, Kira Cronin, D Phrase, my sister who was in my Give Me My Applause video, Nikki, she's awesome. Yeah, so much love, so much queer love in the creation of this. Like it took my whole tribe, like my whole tribe. And it was the first time I asked for help. So shout out to all my queer fam who showed up for me.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So, I'm gonna ask, I know I asked you this the last time you were on here, but that was several years ago. But so I want to know, like, are you reading anything that is causing an explosion in your mind?
Mm, yes. Am I reading anything? I am now. Woo! I'm so happy I can answer this question. Right now, I'm on a bell hooks kick right now.
Ooh, okay, yes.
So I just finished All About Love. It was my first time reading that, and that blew my mind. For several reasons. I mean, just learning about the expectations of love that our communities have, learning about how, as a society, we basically glorify violence and death in a lot of ways, and we don't prioritize living.
Mhm.
And I think that goes back to what you were saying about what happens when we're liberated. I think liberation and being alive is very tied together. Um,
Yeah.
and so for me, I that book is blowing my mind to recognize like how excited I am to be alive. Like I am happy to be alive and to love. To be alive and to love are like the two most important things to me based on that book and just how I feel every day. I feel more alive than I've ever felt right now. Um
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
I yeah, that book plus I just started chanting for the first time in my
Oh,
life.
okay.
Yeah. So I've been
Wow.
practicing some chanting and I'm 2 months chanting and that has
Yeah.
also been making me feel more alive than I've ever felt. And so yeah, I'm reading bell hooks and I'm chanting. So a lot's going on.
Oh my god. That is just super amazing. I love that. I love it.
No.
I so love it. Oh my god. I might start chanting myself.
Please. Yo, chanting is unreal. It really is. We
Mhm.
could talk about that in the next episode, but like it's transforming period, but also like it has transformed grief in a way that I didn't even know was
Oh,
possible. Like
wow.
it has moved the grief from my body.
Oh, wow.
Like alchemy, chanting is alchemy.
Okay, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm definitely gonna look into that. I feel like we all should be chanting now, especially in the time
100%.
that we're in right now, what's been going on. More chanting.
Yo, chanting is saving lives.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I know I asked this the last time you were on the show, but can you drop us some bars?
Some bars. Yeah, I could do that. What's been heavy on my mind? I don't know what I did last time, but here goes. They say my mind be moving mile a minute, worse is hella scrimmage. Why I'm racing like an athlete and it ain't no competition. I'm the best to do this. Flow be water, fluid, immaculate. Make you fall in love with me, just call him Cupid. Adversaries embarrassing me, so just call him stupid. They squares like a Rubik's. I'm shining just like a ruby. Skin is black and rebuted like I just came from Aruba. My ego is longer than yours, I know. I grabbed a ruler, no J, damaged the ruler, but I'm legendary lunar eclipse. So I grabbed the ish and I'm classy like the Laritz and they ask, you would do the sis and assassin on a micro blitz. They ask when the flow gon' switch. Wait, when the flow gon' switch, I say never. You can't do better, so why you asking me this? I'm just dark and deranged with the mind of a psychosis in the past. People was hanging like we were trees of some ish or some loot, but I grabbed the loot and say, give me reparations.
Yes. 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 Oh my God. Yes.
Woo. Appreciate you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh man. Thank you, Billie Dean.
Thank you so much for having me.
Like seriously, this totally made my day.
You
Like
too.
this made my week, my month. Thank
Wow.
you, thank you,
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you.
For having me and speaking life back into me, so I appreciate it.
Oh my God, you speak life into me. Oh my God, like thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that was Billie Dean Thomas. Aren't they just awesome? I was so happy when they said yes to come back on the show. Their spirit and music just breeds abundance. Definitely check out their music on all streaming platforms and Bandcamp. So, we're gonna play one last song from Billie Dean's album Mix called Shake Up the Charts. Listen up.
Took off my tie, came from a meeting, bought room, bedroom in the same evening. Want more high-yos like I live in Cleveland. Put a pen to the pad, they stop breathing. Said I talk too fast, money talks too, so my wallet laugh. He a bit loud, so pardon that. Won't stop till the world want my autograph. Right, and I rap and I sing, doing business things, so I guess I'm a polymath. I'll take a check over fame, but I still want my name on the board and a billboard plaque. Check out the charts, choreograph. Check out the charts, choreograph. You a king or a queen, bitch? What? Man, I'm all of that. Check out the charts, choreograph. Check out the charts, choreograph. You a king or a queen, bitch? I'm all of that. Excuse me, where's my chauffeur to the movies? Point me the direction of the groupies. Rockstar with the boss since juvie. Bend down, back it up, show your boobies. Man, I got my mojo back. Groovy, Austin Powers, Champagne Towers. Never been a fluke, I just sip oops. Proof, poof. Prince up Bel Air in the booth. Fine art with the hip hop truth. Black Greek god decks like Zeus. Pledge of allegiance, no truce. Be the queen of my whole crew. About the shit on the game, where's the loot? Check out the charts, choreograph. Check out the charts, choreograph. You a king or a queen, bitch? What? Man, I'm all of that. Check out the charts, choreograph. Check out the charts, choreograph. You a king or a queen, bitch? I'm all of that.
Ich bin viel zu viel, keine Limits. Bin ein Ass, mir egal wer der King ist. Es ist die an dem Mic, ja ich bin es. Vom Club auf die Bühne, danach wieder Business. Guck, Energy ballert rein, Stapel Hits so wie Pringles. Und Kick wie ein Teil ohne Ende mit Style. Trotz Hustle und Grind, halt dich an, bis mein Kontostand sagt, dass es reicht. Hör nicht auf, bis ich weiß, dass wir safe sind. Schlag Alarm, es gibt kein Escape. Mach mein Ding auch dann, wenn sie haten. Berlin bis New York, einmal um die Welt, yeah. 360 Grad, dieser Track kommt mies, ja ist nicht normal. Kenn zurück, weil wir stürmen die Charts. Check this up, es fängt grad erst an. Check out the charts, choreograph. Check out the charts, choreograph. You a king or a queen, bitch? What? Man, I'm all of that. Check out the charts, choreograph. Check out the charts, choreograph. You a king or a queen, bitch? I'm all of that.
Thanks for listening to When We See Each Other. I'm your host, Nikkiesha McLeod. This show is produced and edited by Jeremiah McVay. If you like what you hear in the show, please rate and review it in Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that allows that. And please follow us wherever you happen to listen to podcasts. Doing so helps us to expand our audience and is much appreciated. You can find more information about this show at stereoactivemedia.com/whenweseeeachother. And you can get in touch with us at stereoactivemedia@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok under the handle WWSEO Pod. Talk to you later.
This podcast is produced by Stereoactive Media.